Welcome back, folks. Some of you probably wondering, why does John always clap like that? Well, it's just something that I've done forever with CNBC and our videographer team over here as well, to make sure that we're getting levels prior to the broadcast. And it ended up coming that I do it during the broadcast as well. Thank you for joining us, folks. Feliz Navidad, Happy Hanukkah, whatever you're celebrating, I hope it's great. And this is 3 at 3. I know you're shocked, 3 at 3. Every business day, we bring you unusual option activity, and we try to inform, educate, perhaps entertain. I'll try to do all of those today. Unusual option activity, as defined by us, is the purchase of calls or puts in large numbers on the offer. That's how we determine it's a purchase. And we also use our sentiment indicators to find where the sentiment is in a host of social media sites like Reddit and Twitter, but not exclusively those. Told you about this one yesterday, and stock was $110 a share, Rivian, R-I-V, and they were due to report. And all of a sudden, just before the start of halftime, which is why I mentioned it on halftime and for our subscribers, we saw a lot of puts being purchased. 110 puts, a lot. 100 puts, a lot. All the way down to the 85 puts. So 110, 100, all the way down to the 85 puts. That's not good. When people are buying puts on the offer and paying more and more for each subsequent purchase, that's telling you people want protection fast or just straight out bearish bets. Normal full session activity was about 7,000 puts the prior week. Yesterday, in the first 2 hours, they traded 16,000 puts in this expiration alone, just December 17th expiration. So that was really a pretty good trigger for us. Here's what happened. You know, they reported earnings. We already told you about the plant that they were going to spend $5 billion on down in Georgia. Not saying they shouldn't build a plant. I'm just saying that the market might put a haircut on that. And that's the stock working its way from 116 on down to 110, where it closed last night, to all the way down to 93 today. It's made a recovery to 98.33 as of a little bit ago. But you get the idea. The puts that we purchased, they offset a lot of pain elsewhere in the portfolio, believe me. So to any of you who had those, I salute you. It's a nice feeling to be able to make money on the downside, because so many of us, and I put me in there, lose money on the downside in many of my other positions. But in this one, obviously, those 110 puts went from a very small amount to a very large amount very quickly. The 110 puts, 100 puts, basically all the way down to, I think, about the 95 puts, were all up over 200% or something like that. So that was nice. Many of you had sent me notes saying, why are you showing a fat Santa? Santa is fat. But why are you showing a fat Santa with a cigar and scotch instead of, you know, like one of his elves or something? In other words, some of the guys were tired of seeing the fat Santa. And so they were saying, don't you have any women or female Santas? I don't, but I do have this, which is from a masked Christmas party, which was another one of my tweets today, because somebody asked, how many of you out there go to masked Christmas parties? I do. Been to quite a few, and they're always fun. Well, of course, most Christmas parties are pretty fun. And I thought we would show this as a teaser to get you guys to take a look at some of the rest of what we're going to be showing you, which might include the subscription to one of our 3 unusual option activity subscriptions. So let's talk about final trades. Pete's final trade was SOFI Technologies. It was at $14.55. He was on the halftime report, brought this one out, and stock was $13.88 when we saw it. You see here, it had rallied by about 60 cents by the time he was on the halftime report. So one more reason that it's good to be a subscriber. We do not know which ones the halftime report will let us even mention. So it's not like, oh, we tell our subscribers, this is the one, this is the one. We probably had 20 trades out by the time halftime is on. We don't know which ones that they might elect because for one reason or another, because they're going to talk about something else on the show. They want to mention it earlier. They have final say on what goes on their show. Obviously, it's coming from our list, but we don't know. And this example, it's up, like I said, 12 and 55, 67 cents by the time it came on air. As you see there, 14.55. And they're buying the 7th of January expiring 14 calls, which already were 55 cents in the money by the time it went on CNBC. Pretty nice. Coupang, this is a South Korean play. As you see, it's bled off fairly substantially from, looks like, what would that be? April timeframe when it was 48 all the way down here to 28, starting to turn up. December 29 strike calls. Next week expiration. So next week, which would be the 23rd expiration we're seeing for these Coupang, CPNG stocks 28.60 and the December 29 calls. It was 28.55, 5 cents less than when we talked about it on the halftime report. Not exactly a huge jump there, but 12,500 is a huge investment. That's 1.2 million share equivalent. 23rd of December, 29 calls. Like it. I like buying one and selling a higher strike of another. You have to decide how to play it, whether you want to sell puts naked, sell put spreads, put on an iron condor, put on a butterfly. We can teach you all that, by the way, if you'd like to learn. Third and final of today's 3 at 3 is the XLE, the Energy Select Spider. December 54.50 calls being bought. These are, of course, calls that will expire in a week. There you see them. No, 2 weeks, I'm sorry. The 31st of December, so this is the last expiration of the year. XLE 54.53 was where the stock was when Pete was on half. Shoot, I don't have where it was, the stock there, but 10,000, which is a million share equivalent. Over the next 2 weeks, it's the at the money call. So these are going to move 50 cents for every dollar the underlying stock moves. If we get a pop out of energy, these will react fast, and thus you need to react fast. So keep that in mind. Let's take advantage of that. And just like I was saying previous, if you wanted to get yourself a present for the new year, like a present of some of those trades like Rivian, RIVN, you can do that. If you'd like to give it to your significant other, to your child, to your grandchild, to your friend, I would encourage you strongly because we have weekly trade ideas, so they're going to learn. Live webinars, again, education is part of what we do, and trading community, meaning like the similar to a social network, except there's only the thousands of people that are on our network that are on there, not a bunch of haters and everything else that you have to put up with on social networks. marketrebellion.com/UOA live. That is, one more time, marketrebellion.com/UOA live. And you can learn all about it. If you'd like to dial us up, 888-809-8058. That's 888-809-8058. And you can speak to one of our folks who, most of whom have been professional traders in the past before they did away with floor traders. Long story for another time. Questions. If you have questions, I will try to answer those on Twitter. Pose them to me at JONNAJARIAN. Clove. Whoops, where was that? Oh, whoops, I guess I deleted his question. I am sorry, sir. Somebody, and I apologize for deleting your question, but he was basically saying, Doc, what do you have as far as Clove action? And this is what we have. It is not unusual option activity as defined by us yet. The reason it is not, folks, is because notice the total. So the second column from the far right is TOT, total. Those are the total calls traded at all those various strikes. January 5s, D's 450, D's 450s, D's 4s, and so on. Look at the open interest. That's how many have been written by one party and purchased by another since the beginning of those series coming on board. So when we see 3,800 out of 11,000, they haven't even traded a third of the open interest. Could all be new trading. We won't know until the market closes tonight, because that's when the Options Clearing Corp, OCC, runs that. So if they purchase, for instance, 20,000, I could be pretty confident that at least 10,000 of those would have been new trades. But since it's under the open interest, I can't, and thus we do not put it out as unusual option activity. It's one of the metrics you have to meet in order for us to believe that it's truly unusual. The next one you see, 3,000 out of 9,000. The next one, 2,500 out of 4,500. The next one, 2,200 out of 3,700, and so on. So in other words, no, I don't have unusual option activity in Clove. It doesn't mean the stock's not going to go up, but it does mean it will be overlooked by us for the reasons I just described. 2022, out of the money call options, and his or her handle is OTM call options, plural. Worst and best FANG names for 2022. Best, Apple. I'm going to say that. It's my third largest position. And I think it weathers the storm better than most. I know it came down substantially from trading over $3 trillion in market cap when they started to hit the market. But I look for it to be one of those safety plays into 2022. And I think anybody who was taking profits now, obviously under wash sale rules, they can't get into it for 30 days. Many of those folks might find themselves chasing it, if I am correct, or if Kathy Huberty is correct, or if JP Morgan is correct. You might see them chasing if indeed this one makes that push towards 200. Oh, and that's going to do it for us. Sorry, the last one. I don't know how I screwed up must have been too much punch at the party last night. MarketRebellion.com/get started. You can see all about beginning, intermediate, and advanced strategies, as well as crypto, on MarketRebellion.com/get started. Can't recommend it highly enough, folks. I think it's where everybody should start. If you're a beginner, definitely start there. If you're an intermediate, we have something for you. If you're advanced, I believe we still have something for you. And obviously, if you're advanced, we have all those subscription products as well. That's going to do it for us today, folks. Have a fabulous evening, and I'll see you soon back here on Market Rebellion Television.